Good morning. So this video wasn't planned this morning. However, some things happened to me this morning as I was walking, and I feel like the Lord was showing me some parables or some stories to share and to get this video started. It's been a couple of months since I started the new channel, Valerie Brown, Your Life Matters. Because I have two YouTube channels. One is more like ministry with my dancing, encouraging people, praying and stuff like that. And that's under Valerie Brown, Royalty by Divine. And that's been a few years. But this new one I just started recently, and it's to bring awareness and encouragement to people about pain, trials, tribulations. And the main thing I wanted to do was bring awareness, more awareness about bullying and suicide. So I knew that my next topic would be on fear, but I had some things happen to me that kind of stopped me from doing the next videos. So here I am today, this morning, feeling led to do this video. So I found myself this morning being gripped with fear. I normally walk, I don't know, a minimum of about 3 times a week. I usually walk around my neighborhood. I used to go to the track, but now I just do my neighborhood. I usually do 1 to 2 miles. So this was the first time I actually felt afraid and like, well, what might happen? What if somebody gets out of their car and starts shooting me or tries to stab me? What am I going to do? As you know, everything that's going on in the news around the world, there's so much going on in America. America used to be the best place, the place where everybody wanted to come. And I feel like now America is showing something different to the world around us. Everyone is looking on the outside looking in, but even us that are here, we see and know that this is not the America we learned about, or some of us grew up in, or there has always been some harsh things that happened in the United States of America, but we always didn't know how bad it was to live through those things. And now we're living through some stuff in America that's shaking us. We are afraid now to go to our malls, our churches, our schools, the grocery stores, the parks, concerts. We are constantly having shootouts. Our children are killing themselves due to bullying, due to being abused. Our young ladies, our boys and girls are being human sex trafficking going on. Children are being sacrificed. Animals are being sacrificed. Something has happened in America and around the world. It's not new, but it has intensified. The evil has intensified. But I came on today to talk about fear. So as I was walking, as I normally do, I went the way I normally go. I go half a mile one way, then I come back up. And as I came back up, past where I live, about to go around a whole another area of the area. Mind you, I live in a very safe area, very safe part of town. A truck went past me, and they slowed down, and then the gentleman hollered something out the truck. And it startled me. I don't live too far from a town where there is a lot of KKKs in private. And anyway, so and I live on a back road where many of them often travel, and so I began to fear a little bit why he was slowing down. And he yelled something out the window, but obviously he thought I was someone else. He did say that after the fact, but it startled me nonetheless. Then as I turned the corner, the whole area I walk is public, and traffic is always coming back and forth. So I feel, you know, even more safe in a safe area. But I turned down a street that has less traffic, and I began to feel terrorized again and thinking about everything that's happened on the news. What am I going to do? I don't have anything on me to protect myself. I didn't even have my mace that I usually have on my keychain. And I noticed as I'm walking up the street, there is a gentleman sitting on the curb. Never has there been anyone sitting on the curb, especially early in the morning. So I began to feel this fear again. And I just began to pray and ask God to, you know, just begin to pray. As I walked past him, a car came out of nowhere, which made me feel a little more comfortable. A couple of cars came by at the same time as I began to pass the gentleman. And I got around him and started going past the school. As I'm going past the school, two things happened. One, another gentleman came out of nowhere as I'm turning, where usually there's no one. And this is the school and there's lots of cars and stuff like that. But nonetheless, I'm turning a corner and a gentleman just were like head on, and that never happened before. And I have all this fear going on inside me. So the one thing good after that, which I'm going to bring that point back to light later, a young kid came up and almost ran into me, and I tried to move out of his way. At the same time, he tried to move out of my way, and we both laughed because we both moved the same way. And we tried it again, and we moved the same way, and we laughed. And the Lord spoke something to me, which I'm going to share a few minutes later. But then I went on about my day. So I went home. And that's when I felt like the Lord wanted me to do this video about fear this morning. So then, what actually is fear? And I'm going to get back to this morning, but I'm going to go here. What is fear? So fear is to be afraid of something or someone. It's to have a feeling of terror or fright, horror, to be alarmed, agitation, dread, and distress. It's unpleasant. It's an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous and going to cause us some type of pain or a threat. It's a threat. It may be real or it may be imaginary to some people, but I'm talking about real fear right now, okay? Fear is to be anxious, to have intense worry, intense panic. It's fear is paralyzing. It's crippling. It's dreadful. It's a dreadful emotion. So almost everyone has experienced some level of fear. Nonetheless, fear is, most people, believe it or not, are afraid to talk about their fear. So oftentimes we suffer with fear in silence. And we have to learn to begin to speak about it and talk about it, and help somebody else overcome that fear. Just talking about it helps a person hold on to their faith and be strong. So what do I want to talk about next? I want to talk about PTSD, which is a result of fear or things that have been a trauma. People have lived through trauma, and then because of that trauma, they are fearful to move on with life or to deal with those same type of issues again, to deal with people, circumstances, places. And it may not be the same situation, but it serves as a reminder. But with PTSD, post-traumatic stress, on the emotional side, people deal with a state of shock, disbelief, fear, extreme sadness, a sense of helplessness, guilt, anger, shame. Then on the physical side, they deal with trembling, and all this is tied to fear. Trembling and shaking, rapid and pounding heart and breathing, constant stomach pain and tightening, which deals with stress, which is going to be another video I'm going to do soon. Sleeplessness, headaches, All these things happen with PTSD, reliving the flashbacks and dreams and visions of these things that caused you fear, being raped, being tormented, being bullied, just all kinds of trauma, causing people to live in a state of fear. People are afraid to have relationships. People are afraid to have a family. People are afraid to go to church. People are afraid to go to school. All types of fear, and fear is crippling. Fear is paralyzing. We've got to talk about it. So, what can you do about fear? Let's talk about that now. You can fight back. Let's talk about some things that you can do to fight back. And fighting back, you can get up. You can get up every morning and choose to fight. Choose to dry your eyes. Choose to start over every day. Choose to believe that things can and will change. I'm in a personal dilemma right now. I'm conquering my fears right now, even talking to you. Through an injury, having to leave my job, waiting on disability, they turning me to unemployment turning me to disability. Do you know what it feels like for all your income to just cease and have to rely and depend upon God's holy word? When you don't have family, when you don't have friends, when you don't have a state system that you can depend on, when you're in middle class, the state's not going to help you. If you're extremely poor or wealthy, there is systems that if you fall, set up to help you. But if you're in the middle and you lose an income, you lose a paycheck, you get injured, let me tell you something. There's not much out there for you. I'm telling you. But I am a witness that I choose, and you can survive. I choose to live and not die. You can survive. It doesn't have to be the end. You don't have to choose defeat. So let's get back to what I was saying. Choose to fight back. Get up in the morning. Dry your eyes. Silence the enemy. Silence the enemy. Tell the devil to shut up. Tell the devil to shut his mouth. Tell those voices that throughout your day, everywhere you go, be it in the spiritual realm, be it actual people coming at you, be it your inner voice talking to you negative, you silence those voices. You silence the enemy. You have to decide to fight back. You are worth it. Your life does matter. When you have no family, no friends, nobody that's sitting there encouraging you or able to help you get out of what life has put you in, you have to decide that your life matters. You have to know that God, you are created for a reason. You were born for a reason. You are not a failure. You are not a mistake. Life has just dealt you a bad hand. You are just going through a trial, a tribulation, a testing time. But you got to love yourself to know that your life matters and that you must fight back, no matter how long it takes. No matter how many days you have to get up, dry your eyes, tell the devil to shut up, tell those voices to shut up. No matter how many days, no matter how many years, you must know that your life matters. You must know that life is going to change. You must know that better is coming to you no matter how long it takes. And you have to love yourself enough to get through it. Because there's a reason why you're going through it, even if it's not your fault. Fight back with laughter. Get around people that make you laugh. If you don't have nobody in your circle, your family that does that, get on TV. Find some crazy television shows. They're getting harder and harder to find these days. Everything is rated X, just horrible. But get on YouTube. Get up with Kev on stage. Oh my gosh, there's so many Christian comedies, and people try to, even say that's wrong to have Christian comedy. Get out of here. The joy of the Lord is our strength. You gotta laugh. Laugh at your own self while you're crying. Laugh at what you're going. Find the laughter in what you're going through. You gotta have laughter. The joy of the Lord is your strength. Do you know it takes more muscles to frown than it does to smile? There's something to that. Fight back. Praise and worship. Get up in the morning and praise your God. Worship your God. Put on your praise music. Put on your worship music. Bring that joy into your space. Even though you don't see God, you don't feel God, because when you're going through, all of a sudden you don't see him. All of a sudden you don't feel him. But you put on that praise, you put on that worship, and you're reminded that he hasn't left you, even though it looks like he has. Even though it feels like he has, that praise and worship serves as a reminder to you that you're not alone. And somewhere in the background, he's watching over you. I know it might sound crazy, and some people say that's stupid, but it's not. To those of us that have gone through before, and we have a testimony that God brought us out, and we have stories that we can share, that we know, we are witnesses that it will work. The Bible tells us, think on things that are lovely, things that are just, things that are pure. Think on those things. Fight back. How else can you fight back? Feed your soul. Go to the library. Find books that speak about how to have your best life now, how to encourage yourself. If you fall short, when you're going through, you can be the best encourager. Look at me, for example. I live encouraging people. I'm an encourager by nature. I am right now personally suffering emotionally because of what I'm standing up under. I have books. I find things I read to encourage myself. Feed your soul. Watch movies that are uplifting. Pursuit of Happiness. That is an awesome movie that should motivate you. A true story. Daily encourage yourself. All throughout the day. Donnie McClurkin says, we fall down, but we get up. I don't know how many times a day you feel suicidal, you feel depressed, you want to give up, you want to give in. As often as those thoughts come, you fight back. For every negative that comes, you shoot back with the positive. If you don't have it, go find it from somewhere. Stop being afraid to call somebody else. Call somebody that's encouraging. Go find a book that's encouraging. If you can't find nobody, your change is going to come, and you're going to be able to give your testimony in due time, but don't give up. Before I close out, today I did record my poem, Spirit of Fear, which is in my poetry book entitled Spiritual Inspirations. And that's going to be also on this channel. I'm going to upload that as well as this video. But I'm going to, before I close out with this book, the ending part that God wanted to tell me, when I told you that little boy came around the corner when I was walking, and we was trying to get out of each other's way, and we both started laughing, God was saying to me, even though I felt danger all around me because of everything that's going on, I felt fear all around me, and that was to serve as a notice. Even though fear is around me and the enemy wants me to know, and you know, I prejudge those people because they could have been good people and perhaps would not have caused me any harm, but because of what's going on in the world, we're prejudging people, and we're afraid and we're scared. And we had to fight that fear. We have to fight that fear. But that young man, that little boy, as I came up upon him, what the Lord was saying was, even if fear is around and the enemy is around, I also have good around you. I also have angels around you. And what happened after that, I went and dropped off my granddaughter to school. And as I was coming out, a gentleman came in front of me and says, let me get the door for you. And I said, thank you. He came out of nowhere, just jumped in front of me. And I was like, thank you. And the Lord said, see, when you don't expect something good or people to be good or to be kind, I have good and angels still around you. I still have good people, and I still have my angels around to fight. you know, I'm looking and I'm afraid, and I'm looking for people to hurt me all this morning because of what's going on in the news, but yet God had someone there positioned to show me kindness and to do a good deed. And then so I went out that door and I had to go through a gate to get to my car, and here comes the gentleman again, and I noticed I'm walking fast to get to my car, and he said to me, if you slow up, I will help again. I will show my kind. I can't remember the exact words, but he was letting me know that he will do what he just done, and that was open the door. So I says, oh my God, I says, thank you. I says, I never slow up. I'm always rushing. And he said, yes, that's what we do when we, as we get older, we're always rushing. I said, yeah, and I need to learn to slow down. So he opened up the gate for me to walk through, and I heard the Holy Spirit speak to me and say again, when we hurry through life because of the trial, the tribulation, the persecution, we just want to get through what it is we're going through. And the Lord was saying to me, the longer we have a problem, the faster we're moving, because the faster we're trying to get over it and around it and under it. But God said that we could slow down. If we could slow down all the more, even while we're going through, if we could slow down, we can see the good people around us. We can see the good deeds. We can see the kindness of people around us. We can see his angels in motion, why fear is all around us, why the enemy is all around us if we slow down. And the Lord wanted me to share that with you this morning, to slow down, relax. Calm your spirit. I'm speaking to me as I'm speaking to you. Calm my spirit, because I've been fighting every day, and I've been getting up and rushing right into that state of stress, that state of, well, they're not helping me. They're not doing what they said they were going to do. That state of allowing the enemy to conquer me with fear, because I'm rushing into picking up what happened yesterday. No, slow down. It's a new day. It's a new day. Start all over, fight back, conquer the fear, wipe my tears, tell the enemy to shut up, choose to laugh, find something to make me laugh, decide to do something today that's going to make me laugh, find something to feed my soul, stop and tell myself to encourage myself, slow down, get out of the pressure, get out of the stress, get out of the rat race of what the enemy has put in front of us. Allow God to allow other people to help us. Allow God to let his angels move and work. Give him space. And I'm going to close with this book. It's called Reflections. And the subtitle was Destiny. And I've tried so hard to find out who wrote this little book. I don't know how they could put this book in the Dollar Tree for $1. It's so daggone powerful. I'm not going to read all the quotes out of it. What this person did was they took some powerful quotes from some powerful people or well-known people, and they took and find a word and that word is a theme and put that quote under it. And I'm only going to use I'm going to use some of them. I'm not going to read all of them. And whoever did this book, oh my God, if you can message me, I just want to thank you for doing this. We are such creative people, and we can learn to use the gift that God put inside of us. We think sometimes the gifts that we have are so little and so minute, but they're not. They're things that will help other people in this world. Use your gifts. So the first one that I want to read, let's see here, Courage. And it's by, let me put my glasses on for this. So Courage by Joseph Pierce. And his proverb, these are proverbs, encouraging proverbs. And what caught my eye was this, is by it, the subtitle Destiny, because God is calling me into my destiny. And it's another reason why I've been under so much attack, because I have stepped into my destiny. And the enemy doesn't go after you if you're not doing anything with purpose, or you just choose life doesn't matter to you. But when you pick up your mind, and when you get in a place where God can actually begin to pull you into destiny, he begins to fight you like hell. But don't you give up. Don't you give in. And he's got his angels around you. And you're going to come out, and you're going to come through. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get sidetracked, but sometimes. So, courage. To live a creative life, we must lose our fear of being wrong. Here's one by Ralph Waldo Emerson. And the subword on this is lead. See, lead. Do not follow where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. And I found myself like reading just a few a day and getting encouragement and strength. So hats off to you, whoever did this. And I hope people do the same thing with my poem books, find encouragement from my poem books. And this is why I created this channel, to also tell people about my poem books, because I wrote them out of my hurt, out of my pain, to encourage other people. All of my poetry books I will talk about on this channel, and you can find them on Amazon.com. I don't do this to get money from anyone. This channel is to encourage people. But I'm telling you about my poem books because I know that I have poems in there that will encourage people in a mighty, mighty, mighty way. So here's one by Confucius, Failure. Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Life by Søren, I think it's Kierkegaard. Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. Now, you try figure that one out. Value. This is by Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein, excuse me. Oh my God, when am I messing up his name this morning? Value. Strive not to be a success, but rather to be of value. Think about that. Travel. Here's another one. This is by Robert Frost. He's got some awesome books. Two roads diverge in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by. And that has made all the difference. Sometimes you have to be a leader and not a follower. Begin. And this was a Chinese proverb. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. You never get too old to live your life, to chase your dreams. Let's see. Maya Angelou. Yes, I love her. Feel. Her word is feel. She always made us feel something. I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Birth. This is by Mark Twain. The two most important days in your life are the day you were born and the day you find out why. And sometimes it takes some of us forever to find out why. That's why I said you can never give up on you. There is a purpose for your life. There's a purpose why you were born. And things will always, always, always change. We might not know when, but it will change. Might not know when. Might be a long trial. Might be dark for a long time. But your day gonna come. And every day gonna get easier if you just hold on. If you fight back. If you choose to understand and know that your life matters. Destiny by Ralph Waldo. The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. You decide to be a failure. You decide to be a winner. Believe by Theodore Roosevelt. Believe you can, and you're halfway there. So I guess I'm at the halfway point, y'all. Let's see here. Fears. Too many of us not living our dreams. We're not living our dreams because we are living our fears. What is this video about? Breathe. Vicky Corona. Life is not measured by the number of breaths we take, but by the moments that take our breath away. That's what I'm striving for, you guys. Hawaii last year took my breath. Finding out about my real dad took my breath last year. Meeting my dad took my breath last year. All right, let's see if I can just do a few more. Booker T. Washington. Lift up. If you want to lift yourself up, lift someone else. That's why I'm here. That's what this channel is about. Limits. Limitations live only in our minds, but if we use our imaginations, our possibilities become limitless. That's by James Palinetti. Reinvention by George Eliot. It is never too late to be what you might have been. This is where I'm at in this season. It was so meant for me to have this book. God, please let me know who wrote this book. Okay, let's see here. Confidence. Eleanor Roosevelt. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. Strength by A.Y.N. Rand. The question isn't who is going to let me, but it is who is going to stop me. Strength. There's a scripture in the Bible that says, if God be for me, who can be against me? All right, I'm about to close this out. And I know where I left off at, so maybe I'll do another video in the future. And I'll pick up where I left off with some of these, the rest of these words, because they are very, very, very powerful. And I want to say, face your fears. Face your fears. Face your fears. We may not know what the end's going to be. We might not know how God is going to come through. But one thing I do know for sure is that God loves me, that God exists, and that my life matters. I know these things. I know that God is real and that my life matters because of things that God has done in my past to prove that to me. And I'll share those things at other times. So all I can give you, if I can't give you your answers, is that God loves you and that your life matters and that things will change, and fight back. Have a blessed day. Love you.